In this module, you'll have a chance to learn about Buddhism and the concepts we'll be thinking about and learning about in this class through movement and embodied practice. You'll spend 4 weeks during 2 movement practices. You'll be able to choose between 3 practices. You'll do each one that you choose for 4 weeks each, and every day you'll keep a log of what your practice is. You should do your practice for about 15 minutes at least per day for at least 5 days a week. And you'll keep a log on a kind of a chart where you detail what you did, how long you did it, where you did it, and what kinds of impact it had, and how it's kind of relating to the rest of the course materials as you go along in that 4-week session. You'll be able to choose between 3 options. The first is a simple walking practice, meaning that you should plan to do an intentional walking practice for 15 minutes a day or so, 5 days a week, and keep your log about that. The second option is a recitation or music practice, in which case you should practice either singing or chanting or reciting something, reading aloud, something ideally from the class, but it could be something else. And you'll keep a log about that and how it kind of relates to what you're learning in the class and how you're feeling during the semester. And the third option is to learn a portion of Merce Cunningham dance that involves simple movements and poses is interesting. As you learn more about it, you'll be able to think about how this Merce Cunningham dance routine or dance practice relates to some of the other movement practices we'll be learning about in this course. So you'll be able to choose. You'll do the first 4-week session starting at the beginning of the semester. Then you'll do the second 4-week session right after that. You'll keep your log at the end of each of those 4-week sessions. You'll create a video or audio project that documents your practice and that is to be made available for the rest of the class to watch or listen to. So think about from the beginning, think about what you want to do with that. Think about what you feel like sharing, what you feel comfortable sharing. It doesn't have to be a video of yourself. It could be simply your feet or your hands doing some movements related to the practice, or you could even be more creative and do something quite a bit more abstract. So it's really kind of the sky's the limit on that one, and the point is to think carefully about how your movement practice relates to the concepts we're learning about in the class and to display that in some creative way for others to see and to appreciate. So as for how this practice series will be graded, what you're going to do is a self-assessment reflection form where you talk about what your process was like throughout the 4 weeks of your work on this movement and how it related to the class. You'll hand in your log, your daily log, and then you'll hand in a reflection where you answer a series of questions that talk about, where you explain sort of how did your work in the movement practice relate to the rest of the class? How did you think your process went? How did you feel that you did in that process? And then you'll also answer a few questions describing your final project and how that relates to the rest of the class and to your experiences doing the movement practice. So your final project, you can do that with someone else if you'd like to team up with someone in the class and do a shared final project, a video or audio piece, that would be fine. Yeah, and I'll show you. You can also in the second one, if you want to combine the first and second one at the time of the second one, so that would also be interesting. And so I'm going to show you now an example of one that I did this summer as a kind of a test case, where I combined a recitation practice where it was actually my son reading a Buddhist text out loud, and with my sort of rehearsal exercise of the Merce Cunningham, the first part of the Merce Cunningham dance. So that's a kind of an example of the type of thing you could do, but really please be creative, and I'm super excited to see what you come up with for these projects.
32 Signs of the Buddha. A great person has firmly placed feet and walks evenly upon the ground. Upon the soles of his feet there are 1,000-spoked wheels with hubs and rims complete in every aspect. The great person has long fingers. He has broad heels. His hands and feet are soft and delicate. His hands and feet are web-like. His ankles are hidden. His legs are those like an antelope. His body does not bend. His penis is sheathed. He is round like a banyan tree. He has a halo extending as far as his arms can reach. His body hairs point upward. His body hairs are separate. Each separate hair grows in its own pore and is blue, curled and turned to the right. His skin is golden. His skin is smooth. Because of the smoothness, dust and dirt do not stick to his body. His body has 7 protuberances, 2 on his hands, 2 on his feet, 2 on his shoulder, and 1 on his neck. The front of his body is like a lion. His torso is well rounded. He has no hollow between his shoulders. He is straight and tall. He has 40 even teeth. His teeth have no spaces between them. His teeth are very white. His jaw is like a lion's. He has obtained an excellent sense of taste. His voice is like Brahma. It speaks as delicately as the Kalavinka bird.